Well, good afternoon, because we have already had lunch. Thank you very much for coming. We are very few people attending this parallel session with these SMEs and companies that's complaining me in the session. And I thanks to all of them to come with me. And I don't know if everybody is fine in English or everybody wants to speak in Spanish, wherever. So, nice to see you all. Let me introduce you my colleagues into this parallel session. In my right, Álvaro Marineto, in charge of the company Forward. In my left side, Sully from the company Algoraz, and also José from Novelingo. I wanted all of them to be here with me because they represent three very interesting companies, exciting and also with the potential to grow internationally, that they are focused onto the digital market. I'm not going to make more introduce of them because they will show you their similar cases. And then I will start with my very, very fast presentation because I think the most important people here are them, not me. I'm only here to introduce them, and then feel free anytime to ask me any question. We have already the Slido, but taking into account that we are so few people, I think it's better stand up your hand, and then I will provide you the floor, and then to speak with the companies. So please only ask questions to them, not to me, okay? So let's start. Let's see. Okay, here it is. My name is Victor Lopez. Nice to see you. I'm working in the agency, IDEA Agency, the Agency of Development of Innovation of Andalucía, and well, we have many initiatives at the European level, national level, and regional level. And one of them is the Enterprise Europe Network. That is the network that I would like to share the information with you. Well, the Enterprise Europe Network is a very big network of different nodes to provide innovation services to the companies. We born about the 2008. And nowadays, we are a network worldwide. We are over 450 organizations, and we are already present in 71 at the moment countries worldwide. We provide tailored services to the SMEs, as this one that they are coming with me, but putting the company in the center of our clients. Depending on the needs of the companies, we can provide one service or to another, depending on the needs of the SMEs. And this is more or less how we work. We are working with a client. We represent a local hub. And then we can put in contact each company for different stakeholders of the company, of the project, of the companies as well. For example, if the company is interested in private funding, we can share the information and put in contact with ENISA. If they want European projects funding, we can also give them support to finance their projects. And then mainly, we are focusing to 8 or 9 different kinds of services: sustainability, innovation, digitalization, and resilience. among any others, about technology transfer that we can share the products and then sell to internationally. Also internationalization, because we organize different brokerage events where the companies can meet each other, as the one is outside with the meeting corner or whatever. And also inside the network, we have information, we have knowledge about different sector groups that we active participate, and also different thematic groups inside the network. All of these services is organized to get in contact these companies, as example, with another companies outside and worldwide. For example, we start with the strategy, with the analysis of the strategy of the company, and then we define an action plan with definition with different milestones that we want to achieve with the companies. And also we start the preparation with the internalization plan of the company to go outside to new markets. And then later on, we make the service provision, and then we select which services they are more interesting and they need for the clients. Here you are. You will have access to for the presentations, but this is mainly all of the different tools and also the different services or supporting advisory services that we can provide to the companies. It starts with the innovation management. We provide access to finance, to investment, also the internationalization, technology watch, property rights, and finance. This is how we organize the service provision. We start with innovation management, then we access the finance for the companies, and then different services that the companies can be interested. And I think this is all. I leave this slide empty because I prefer the companies can explain much better how they can go international. First of all, let me introduce you Suleiman from the company Algorand. And thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Victor, for your presentation of the different tools that the European Enterprise Network has for the SMEs. My name is Suli. I'm the COO of Algorand. Let me explain you a little about our company, which we consider that are the constraints for the SMEs in the European market. So Algorand is an IT consultancy company that is based here in Malaga. We are categorized as an SME, and Algorand was founded in 2017. As my panelists colleagues know, the beginnings in a small, medium company are really tough, really difficult. It's difficult to be an entrepreneur and start a company, or even work for one of them. I remember when I was the first time at Algorand, when I went to make my interview to join the team. I was coming from the banking sector that is so formal, the structure are really clear. And I was thinking in the IT sector as Google headquarters, and I was expecting slides, ice cream on Fridays, and these kind of things. But the truth, the reality was so different. I found 4 guys developing software with T-shirts, with no structure as a company, in a really small room inside an incubator building. and it was more close to this image. It was no space for anyone or for anything else than some laptops. So yeah, now we are currently 14 working on the SME, and we have a bigger office. Also, now I have a desk because I don't even have a desk at the beginning because it was really small. So we are really proud of our growth, even that we suffer some difficult situation during the last years with the COVID-19 situation. So it's quite good. About our main branches of business, we have two main branches. The software development, we are offering outsourcing for IT companies in order to allocate IT teams from Algorand inside their structure. And also, we develop ideas from different clients. If you have an idea and you want an IT team in order to make the idea come true, we are the company to do that. As an example of the outsourcing, currently we have a big company from the digital identity that is from the UK, Yoti, which we have an IT team developing into their R&D department. So we are working with cutting-edge technologies. And for a SME working with a big company as Yoti is quite difficult because the standards of big companies in terms of software, in terms of principal standards are quite high. But yeah. And on the other branch, we have the business intelligence and analytics area. We are developing ETL processes in order to help companies that they have different source of data from databases, XLS files, and we try to combine all the data into the same procedure in order to have a unique source of information in order to take key decisions that are the main the main objective in order to have better decision making into the business. No? And also we work on the data reporting and visualization, but most of the companies currently they have some business departments in order working to identify the data and try to understand it. But also we have some companies working in there. About our internationalization. Our main core business currently is in the UK. We were working with international companies since the beginning of Algorand. So this is something that really helped us to take off the company. So it's quite good to have international clients and also that, being big companies because we are used to work in a different way. The thing is that when we were during all these years, we made a lot of budgets, scopes for different companies, for big ones and small, medium companies. And with SMEs, always happens the same, that they have difficulties or constraints to access to our budget because we made the investigation about the solution that they need, that they really need because it's critical for their business. But the budget they have for technology is so small that they have quite difficulties to access to this technology. So they decide to maintain the situation as it is currently. So there is two ways to solve this from our point of view. The first one is try to make bigger the budget for technology for SMEs. And this is something that the European Enterprise Network, for example, is working on it, is increasing the budget through public entities grants, not only the European Union, also here in Spain, we have different tools for SMEs to invest in technology, and I think it's quite important for these SMEs to try to grow and be more relevant in the market. And also, the other way to solve this gap that we find into the budget is try to optimize our resources, try to be more efficient, try to be more productive, reduce our cost, and at the time that we reduce our cost, it's easy to give low budget for them, and they can access to the software solution to the business intelligence solution that we have. So we are implementing different processes through our software development process and other tools that that we are using for improving our efficiency as AI tool, for example, in the design development process, that are helping us to reduce our costs and improve our efficiency to offer better options to SMEs that are really important in the Spanish market, represents more than 70% of the companies that we have here in Spain. About our internationalization, even that we are working with international companies since the beginning of Argorab, it's true that we don't have a strong internationalization process. So currently we are working with the Enterprise Europe Network in order to set a strategic internationalization process, to set different ways to reach markets, to grow in our business branches that we are currently working. So one of the ways is this event, for sure. And it's really important for SMEs to reach these tools because they have plenty of ways to internationalize their companies, but maybe they don't know that they are available from the European Union. So it's important to promote that SMEs access to these tools, the European Enterprise Network. And in order to end my presentation, I have 2 questions for my colleague panelists, but I think that we will park them until the end of the presentation, and we will debate about them. That is the challenge of internationalize a company, that they have international SMEs too, and also which constraints they face during the access to IT innovation, and what was the problems to negotiate with SMEs in order to provide to them their products.
Easy ones, huh?
It's quite difficult. It's quite difficult. So yeah, I will pass to our next panelist.
Oh, the next
No,
panelist is-
Alvaro is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. We will take notice of the questions that we will be able to talk about later on. Well, let's turn. Next turn is Álvaro Marineto from the company Forward. So please, and if you want, at the end we can make a short list of questions to go on.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Is that all right? Yeah, okay. There you go. I'm going to stand up because I'd like to tell you a little story, and I cannot be sitting down, so if you don't mind. So basically, I'm going to talk about software. I'm going to talk a little bit about software while trying not to be boring. We just had lunch, and that's easy. We talk about digitalization. Digitalization normally means software in many, many cases, in most cases, probably in all cases. Software means people behind the software. You see the people writing the software, as you said, as we do, we write software. You see the people receiving that software or buying that software, a product, a made product, or you making software for a third party, or you being the third party that received that software. But software means people. And before that, how many of you have been involved in a project like this, you know, with digitalization, buying software from a third party or building software? Many of you? 1, 2, 3, well, few of us. So there will probably be some familiar questions in here. Every time there is people involved and there is software behind, a few questions are normally asked. For example, you know, is the price fair? You know, are you trying to rip me off? Is that normally expensive? It's never cheaper. It's always expensive than I thought. Or things like, why are we delivering late? There's always projects or features or things that we normally deliver late. It's very rarely we deliver earlier than expected. So why are we late? Why does it take that long? You know, why something's going to take a year to be done, or 6 months, or 3 months? What's going on there? What's about software? Is my provider honest? That's a classic one. That's probably a summary of the previous ones. Why are they charging me that much? Is that fair? Is not fair? Are they really doing what they say they're doing? Or, who is my best developer? Who is your best developer? Do you know? Maybe. Who is my best developer?
He's the man.
Who is my best developer? Who is the best person in my company? Who is the most productive one? Who knows most? If you have a small organization, it's easy, but when you get 10, 20 developers, start to get a little bit harder. Or, the classic, 10 developers, really? Do I need 10 developers during 10 days or 100 days to do just single field in a screen with a few data there? What's going on? Why is it so expensive? It's always this, why? Why? What's going on there? What's going on with software? Because when we do a different type of project, let's say a building, a house, it's kind of easier. You don't have so many issues that with software. What's going on with software? We've been going through all these questions, and for us, the key point is that software is intangible. You cannot touch it. You cannot see easily. You can do diagrams. You can have an architecture diagram. You can do logic diagrams. You can have the different layers, the different microservices. You can do a lot of stuff in there. But it's just a diagram. It's not something that you actually can touch. It's not tangible. It's the difference between software and maybe a construction project. It's not tangible. So when you have an intangible asset like this, or when you're building something intangible, it's harder to see. Therefore, you need to trust people. When you trust people, there are always issues because some people might be trustworthy or there might not be. People you can trust. Or some people might be good at doing something, but not that good at doing others. I have seen many developers being really good as a developer, really good technically, but awful managing people, awful providing estimates, awful managing the process around building software. If you build a house for yourself, you don't know how to do it. But if you hire someone, you can see the foundations, you can see the walls, you can see the windows, you can see the pipes, the electricity, you can see everything growing. So it's tangible, it's easy, it's easier to manage. So problem here is that you need to trust people. But we don't want to trust people. We're talking about a lot of money. We're talking a lot of people, a lot of money, not just the money you need to put in software. It's just the business behind software. You want control. So how can we control? What can we do? Sorry. How can we control? That's my cousin. So say hello to my cousin. How can we control software? Well, we can do many things. We can start by doing some projects. Let's say, go back to history, we can do waterfall projects. We have a big budget, a big scope, a year project, and you can be spending so much time doing all this budgeting, all this scoping, making sure that the scope is right, the estimates are right, just to find out at the very end of the project, because it's always at the very end of the project, that you're running late, that you don't have enough budget, because you overrun for whatever reason, because the estimates were not right, because you find things on the way that you were not estimating for. So waterfall, that doesn't work for software. Let's go do something else. Let's be agile. And let's have Scrum. That's a classic one. We do Scrum. We deliver value very often. And we just sit down with the client constantly, be delivering, asking what they need, trying to understand them, just to find out at the very end of the project, because it's always at the very end, that you run out of budget and you have just half of the functionality that you wanted to have. So Scrum, it's not working either. It's not working as good as we expect. So, okay, let's do something else. Let's be creative. Let's do Kanban. Okay, Kanban. Kanban is, I like to call it like small waterfall. You define a feature, a smaller piece of functionality, you put it into the different stages, and you can put it into production earlier. So you deliver value sooner than a waterfall project, but you have a little bit more control than Scrum on the scope and what you do. Okay, I like Kanban. In fact, we do Scrumban, which is a mix between Kanban and Scrum, where you have some ceremonies, blah, blah, blah. Too technical, doesn't really bother anyone, I know. But that is how we can control the project. But the question is still there. question is still there. That's my cousin again. Does it really take 10 days to do something? So is that estimate right? Are you really charging me 10 days and are you really doing 10 days worth of work in there? So we're talking about control the project, but how can we control the work done? It's like when you take the car to the garage. I always have the feeling of being ripped off. I don't know why, but I always pay too much for what we have to do. So in a house, we can see how the house is built. You can see the people working there. You can see the building blocks. But code is intangible. We don't have those building blocks, do we? Well, we actually do have something. We have code. Code, at the end of the day, this code is something that you can see. So the building blocks is the code. So that is what we actually do. That is what Forward does. We connect to the code. We read the code. We understand the code. We parse the code, that we call it. We understand how much code is done. Where is it done? Where is a complex area? It's not a complex area. We check how long that code stay there, whether it's a code that someone writes and stay there forever, or it's code that changes very often, so it's not reliable. We try to find out whether you add or remove chaos from the code. At the end of the day, that is a lot of sentences, a lot of instructions. You know, if you can summarize that. And if the instructions are well structured and easy to read, they're easy to change and easy to maintain. Otherwise, they're hard to read and hard to maintain. So that is what we do. Based on that, we add control. And what kind of things we control? So we control how much code we do. We have an algorithm that estimates the size of the changes in days, in hours, in time. So we can actually tell you how many days or how much money you put in the code. We also control how this code is written. Is it written in a good way, or is it written in a not that easy way? So it's complex code, it's not a complex code, etc. We also control where it is written. So we know if a developer is an expert on this area or on this technology, or what areas of your applications have no people maintaining that. So you have abandoned code or single point of failure. How many areas of your code is at risk if someone leaves the company? We also, obviously, who wrote the code. So we have all the full profile of people, when it was written, so we can see the activity of the people. We can see whether someone is working on Fridays or not when they work from home, for example. We can have all that information very easily. And then, obviously, in the how much code, we have, like I said, the effort. So we can tell you a change took 2 days to be written. So at the end of the day, after a project, you can find out whether the 1,000 days that you were charged were actually 1,000 days or 10 days, and someone telling you it was 1,000 days. We can track progress with this. You can see over time how much effort, how much code it has been written. You might not see the foundations of your house and the floor and the walls, but you can actually see the code growing, assuming that your provider or the people under your team are trustable, people you can trust. And we can track knowledge. That's very important. We can do a full-scale metrics of your development team based on technologies, on areas, on repositories, based on different things. At the end of the day, we map code to people, and we map effort to people. Okay. There are some good examples I like to go through, but before that, I just want to go back to these questions. So, is the price fair? You might not know up front, but once you move over time, you can see whether the price you're paying is fair or not. Whether if you're paying to have 100 days worth of work every month in your application, there are actually 100 days worth of work in there. So why are we late? Well, you can track progress, so you can see how people have been working over time. So you can actually check how much time, how much budget you are eroding from your project. Whether it's a fixed price with a waterfall project, old-fashioned way, or whether we do a time and material or not, you can see how things are being eroded, how much money you're putting into your code, how much money, how much time you put there. Does it really take that long? Well, the solution you've been given, it might be a Ferrari, and you might need, I don't know, a Seat or whatever, or a smaller car. But if you're paying for a Ferrari, you can actually see that you're getting a Ferrari, and you're not getting something else. So does it really take that long? Well, it takes long to do a Ferrari, so it does. But you can check that you're actually getting that. Is my provider honest? I'll tell you a story later on about this. You can actually see how much effort, how much time they put in there. So you can actually check whether they're being honest or not. Who is the best? Well, we know who is the most productive developers, who are the key people in terms of knowledge. So yes, you can find out who is the best, or at least you can find out who is the best on this area, or you can find out who is the best on this language, or who is the best in terms of productive. You can rank the people with objective metrics, not by asking people, just with objective metrics, which is key in here. And 10 developers, really? Well, you can see how many people have been involved. You can count developers. You can see people, time. You can see all that information. So 10 developers, really? Yes, trust me, it's 10 developers, and I'll show you. You can see the people coding there. So we can actually answer these questions, and these clients have an answer for these questions, and they're happy. Another one that is not here that I like to tell the story about it. They were building a application for transport industry. They were spending $1 million every month, with external providers. They were just hiring people from the external providers and doing the changes in there. Just to find out when they connect forward, that they were doing nothing pretty much nothing. So they ended up having a single supplier, a single provider, and rather than spending $1 million, they spent 100K, and they delivered the same speed. So we basically made them save 90% of the budget every single month, which is a fortune. We have other clients, a UK client, an English client, they had an issue delivering, and just to find out that the front-end team was the bottleneck. They have other indicators to see that, but they were not actually seeing. They could see the difference between the productivity of one team or the other. And they ended up finding out that there were quite a few of them that were doing nothing while they work from home, for example. So we can track progress on people having copilots and other assistants, AI assistants, to help with the productivity, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, that is what we do. Now what we're looking to do is we expand at the beginning of this year to the UK market. We're looking to expand to Germany, France, Italy, northern countries. And hopefully we'll get a lot of money from a lot of people from the European Union. And and yes, and hopefully we can help tracking progress on projects that you run, you have initiative on. And I think that is it. You have any questions, or shall we go through the questions later?
Later on.
Okay.
Thank you, Alvaro.
All right, thank you.
This is another example how at the end the company goes international. Interesting with the type of clients that you have already. So with no more preamble, José Luis, thanks as well of coming. I think the presentation is going. The floor is yours.
Thank you to you to let us stay here, to be here. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry. Well, I'm José Luis García. I work in Novelingo. I'm here with my partner in crime in this very small company. He doesn't like that I say that we are a very tiny startup, but that's what we are. I have some notes here, so you're going to watch me to see the screen of this smartphone. So our story is a very short story because we are a 3-year-old startup, and what we do right now is exactly stories. We believe in them, and we use them to share knowledge and training. This is our field of work right now. I'm going to tell very shortly what I have to say today. Today we are authors. We make applications, video games. What I don't like the term, but usually what we do is called serious games. It's called serious games because with games that try to be a tool for formation, training, and shared knowledge, not for fun. But at least we try not to be very boring with these applications. I'm going to show you this one. This is Hacker by Accident. This, for example, is an application, a video game, it's a very low-level course of cybersecurity. It's low-level because it's the first one, and we wanted to do it to achieve the, I don't know how to say it in English now, all the people we could. So we are all very not specialists on that. No.
No.
Oh. For example, this is Hacker by Accident. What we do is to digitalize all those boring, old, and non-sustainable books, manuals, handbooks, whatever. We try to do it in a new way. We try to not fight, but share this smartphone, for example, and to look at it as the tool that it really is. In the beginning, we thought that we will be doing a lot of training applications, and we are doing some. But we are trying to prove more things with this application, with these video games. We are doing, for example, not just cybersecurity applications like this one. This one is a game about biodiversity for the European Union in a European program called LiveWatch Eric. This is an application for Malaga, this part of that program. And for example, this is the target is children. So what we try to prove is the capability of this kind of video games to share the information to a new public in a new way. Not only is a translation of data or ideas, we think it's a new media of sharing knowledge. We believe in stories, as I said, but we believe in games, and we believe in the digital tools. Every day in the news, in the media, there is always the same story, the same song. Smartphones are horrible for the attention for the kids. Smartphones are the hell because everybody loses his time in TikTok, Instagram, whatever. We don't see the smartphones in that way. We see them like tools, like educational tools. It's like in the first days of television, which is a war that everybody has lost. I mean, television in the beginning was a fantastic tool to education. With the time, it became entertainment and maybe propaganda tool. And maybe the smartphones are in that way, in the same way, obviously. But we believe that with this kind of work that we do, it's an opportunity because I guess everybody here has a smartphone, it's obvious. And I've been watching you, and obviously, while we were telling our story, everybody in a moment, at least, or all the moment, is watching the smartphone because it's continuously with us. And we try that to share the idea with our clients that the fact that everybody has a smartphone, the fact that everybody has all the time the smartphone, even sleeping sometimes. I don't know why, but people do it. It's an opportunity to use it like a tool for training and sharing knowledge. I see that is what we do now. This I'm going to show you. For example, this is part of a second biodiversity game. This is the adult one, or we try that. it will be the other one. Like you can see the text Robert Ipsum, but this is a view of Malaga. What I was trying to say, this is what we do now. And we're doing basically in Spain. We haven't, except for this European program, we haven't gone away on what, from the beginning, we try to, we have in mind to go further, but still we haven't do it. But this is part of what we are doing today. That right in my right side is our very first video game, which is, we are very proud. But this is what we do now. Making these games, making these applications, being authors, in some ways are like our books, our digital books. Remember, with games, they are boring, but not so boring. We have gone with an idea that we had at the beginning. In fact, we don't want to be authors anymore. In the future, in the, I hope no very far future, we want to be publishers. We have an ambitious for us, because remember, we are a very tiny startup, but our plan is to be publishers, and we are creating a platform, Novelingo Studio, because we think we are proving the utility of this kind of games for the training, and we believe it's possible that big, well, not necessarily big. I was going to say big enterprises, big companies, but the small and medium, we hope they can do it too, to create their own stories with our guidance and in our platform, with our software. But with their stories, with their needs, because also everybody needs help, but sometimes the client has very clear his idea. We hope in the future, in the not so long future, not so far, to help them to develop their stories under our guidance, or like I said, to be publishers, not just authors. I would like to share some of our experience, not with this game, but sorry. As you can see, I'm not very techy. But for example, this video game, which is for adult people, adult target, because in fact there is some, not in this scene, but our character is the worst employee imaginable for a company. Is always drunk, not going to work, forgetting dates, working dates. And it's for adult people, and even he drinks alcohol in the video game. But for example, this game, we are preparing now a version for young people. And what I mean with this example is that even as an adult story with an adult content is very easily it's very easy to change it to other people, to other target, and that's what we are doing right now. I mean, we are proving that, or trying to prove, that these video games are not difficult ones, that are very easy to do, are very easy to change, are very easy to modify to the client's necessities. I mean, there are not books in a traditional way, so we try to change, let's say, which is the word? No, not change, but substitute them. And for example, this one, we are preparing a demo now, right now, for young people. And what I would try to say is, sometimes when we see the video games, it looks like something very hard to do, very long-term project. We have begun doing them, and we have seen that it's not so difficult. It's not so hard, and it's not so long. So, as I said in the medium of this regular presentation, we want to be publishers because we believe we can do this in a very short term, helps into the client to do exactly what he needs or what he wants. And with this, because it's very hard, very late, and my English is not very good, I think it's time for questions, maybe to answer to your question of the beginning. But I don't know if someone wants to ask some, but very easy, please. Very easy questions, no complicated. Easy, please. Thank you.
Okay, José Luis. Thank you very much. Well, about your English, no problem. My one is very bad as well. And also, if you mistake my
But not so
presentation,
much
it's
as
very
mine.
bad.
Mine is, I don't know. I haven't spoken in English since 2019 at least. And it wasn't a travel.
Don't worry about that because we are not used to speaking English all the time in Spain, so that's something that we should have to change a bit. Well, I'm not going to ask you about how important is the digitalization for the society, for the companies, or what do you think about that? Because for sure you're going to tell me that
it's
quite important. It's vital for your... But I don't know if the rest of the floor would like to ask something to one of us there. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentations. I had a question for the third speaker. Yes, about the support that Enterprise Europe Network gave you in practice.
Sorry, can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, the support that EN gave you in practice to internationalize or under other kind of services.
So we're moving now on to that. So we're in the process of, so the UK, we did it by itself for obvious reasons. And now for the rest of Euros, we working with Victor and the others to try to move into the others to help us supporting. So what we want to do, we spoke before, is the way we sell is by doing research on LinkedIn and having agencies and doing the classic emailing and all that, and going to demos, blah blah blah. So we've got our funnel is like this. What we're planning to do is to get them to support us to find on other SMEs and other companies in the European Union, so we can actually contact them with a background, not just by an email, and set up those demos and work from that point onwards.
Yeah, I think the three of them, because Novelingo also participated in the Digital Enterprise Show, but also Algoraz and also Forward participate into the brokerage event that we organize in the Digital Enterprise Show. Well, it's not so fast to arrange an agreement internationally with another company, but it's a slow process to improve on it. So they have to participate on different events. They have to meet a lot of people. So to find the needed partner to go ahead.
But the truth is that any of you can help if you like to. So if you want a demo, just let me know. We can do a demo for you.
So.
Yeah, another question about that.
Yeah. We have about 5-10 minutes, I think. So.
It's going to be quick. Concerning your, in fact, SMEs like making software, but how you sell your software to SMEs?
In our case?
Yes.
The idea at the beginning was to try to offer them some custom solutions as we offer to the big companies, but the problem was that the scope that they have compared with the budget that they have are with a really big gap. So we find that there was a problem because we can reach that market. So internally, we decided to improve our development process in order to create a common framework of components, for example, in order to try to be flexible to that project and try to reduce the cost in order to access to the SMEs market, because we think that there is a good way to digitalize the environment. But for our case, we are an SME that we have difficulties to reduce costs because we don't have economies of scale as big companies. And if we need for that to be more efficient, and we are on the way to do that. And of course, with the help of national and European entities helping SMEs to have budget, of course, it's easier to access to that market. Also here in Spain, we are digitalizers. That is an action that made by the Spanish government. So it was a way to connect, to make business, and to collaborate with SMEs. So yeah, that's the path that we are following.
So, anything else? Well, thank you very much to all of you. We have only 1 minute. It's about 20. Thank you for coming. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.